Mastering your brainwaves is the only way to gain more control over your mind. And this is important because if you want to control your reality, if you want something to be without in your external, you must first be able to master the internal components that you're in control of, that determine your frequency and allow you to attract the things in. So without further ado, let's get into it. Mastering your mind through learning brainwaves. First thing we've got to do, let's do the wet one. First thing we must do is comprehend what problem not knowing what your brainwaves are. Like, what problem comes with not knowing this information? I'll give you an example. So for example, like let's say you've got something that you need done by tomorrow, right? And you set out the affirmation that, yeah man, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Like I've got a mission that I want to get done by tomorrow night, right? So you make that promise to yourself. You say, right, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up on time. I'm gonna do the work that I said I was gonna do. And I'm gonna build what I said I'm gonna build. So you go to bed. You've got that in your mind, you set your alarm, you prepared nicely, you've done everything that you think that you needed to do, right? You've done all the actions that you believe will get you to be able to get your dreams, right? I just need to get that bit of work done and I'm going to be able to make this amount of money. The kicker is you wake up, right? And then you decide to click on snooze. And then snooze again, and then snooze again. And then by the time you wake up, you've already broke that promise to yourself. And now that you've broken this promise, you're losing trust with yourself, you're losing credibility. And then your self-perception, you start to see yourself as an undisciplined individual, as someone with no vigor, with no, will. That he's not able to achieve the things that he sets his mind to achieve. And if you're in this world of manifestation, in the world of changing your frequency and being able to get something into your life, you have to firstly fathom that all these changes have to come with it. Focusing too much on the action is counterintuitive to the goal. Right? Because if you say, I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to do that to be able to get my dream, then you are almost creating that as a belief. Because what is a belief, right? A belief is reoccurring thought patterns that distill you into a perspective. So if I keep thinking, oh, I can't get this done, or I keep giving myself reminders that I am not the person who gets the job done, I'm going to start believing that I'm the person who cannot get the job done. And when I believe that, because I'm just thinking about doing, and then within this action, I'm not able to get what I want, there's a reason for that. Because my actual paradigm, my energy, my frequency isn't aligned to the action. And if your energy isn't aligned to action, there's no point in taking action at all. Because that action won't actually produce any fruits. Even though the whole reason you're taking that action is for you to be able to get that dream house, get that girlfriend, get that £10,000 a month, get that dream body, whatever, or waking up on time. It might just be little. So we must first comprehend the concept of brainwaves. The first thing that we've got to know is that there's 5 different brainwaves that we must comprehend to be able to know the whole spectrum, right? So there's 5 brainwaves. And they range from high frequency to low frequency. The highest frequency that we're playing with is the gamma. And for the nerds, it's around 40 to 100 hertz. And then the next one comes beta. And it's good to comprehend the corresponding emotion to these states. This is just words that you probably don't know just yet. But once I put down the corresponding emotion, it's going to all start to make sense. So just stay with me now, just for a minute. Now beta, that one is let me have a look at my notes. 13 to 30. Yeah, man. Alpha 8 to 13. I'll give you a clue. I'm probably working around the beta right now. Like, this is the brainwaves that I'm probably operating in this current moment. This one is the alpha. Then comes the 4 to 8 hertz, which is theta. And then delta, which is the lowest frequency, 0.5 to 4. But this isn't like frequency like you conceptualize in terms of like, oh, this is a high vibration thing, or oh, this is a low vibration thing. No, this is a completely different school of thought. This school of thought has everything to do with your brain function, not specifically anything to do with your whole body, with your energy, right? Let me break this down. So, gamma is the highest state of being. In terms of, if you're in a gamma state, the corresponding feelings that you're getting is mad insight. Like, you know when you're in them states where you've got that proper flow, right? And you've been focused, really focused into a task, and you've been really creative, you've been able to do that work, and you've been getting mad insights, you've been on a roll, you've been flowing, coming straight from the dome. It feels natural. It feels like these like downloads keep coming in. This is the gamma state, and it's hard to get into, right? Like the gamma state, for the depressed people, they tend to like chill around alpha. So for the people who want to be able to do the action and be able to express, this is where the gamma comes in, right? And then when you go into your beta, this is your normal working day, right? Like me, I'm probably in the beta states. Maybe if I'm lucky, at some point today we'll get into the gamma states too, right? But that's when you get really focused and your brain waves are really high. Advanced meditators have got really good ways of being able to get into the gamma state because they've practiced the muscle of being able to change their brain waves, right? Because there's been a lot of studies, just like there's studies where they put ESG monitors on your brain, right? Which is monitors the activity of your neurons in the brain. And for you to be in the gamma state is for you to have many neurons like firing up together, like they're getting onto the same beat, right? And then they start forming bigger and bigger oscillations, and then that turns into gamma. So beta, this is your normal waking hours, working. Now it's not good to be in these states because it's very hard to control your mind. Your mind is running at 1,000 miles an hour, right? When you're in these states, for you to be able to edit, or for you to be able to maneuver your patterns, edit your subconscious mind, change your energy, it's almost impossible because of an analogy that I'll give after this as well. So this is like deep insight. And then alpha is when you're a bit more relaxed. And then theta is like deep meditation. Morning. Well, don't like saying mourning because if you look at the definition of mourning, right, like to mourn something is to be sad over someone's death. So we call it every grand rising, which is sunrise. You can call it sunrise if you want, and then nighttime. And then delta is deep, no dream sleep. And how this links to being able to edit your internal components is, so we said that when you're in these like beta state, like the state that I'm in right now, trying to explain this concept, because I'm like working, I'm awake, I'm alert. This is beta. Want to start taking some deep breaths and start calming my body and my mind, I'll start entering into alpha. And then as it starts getting late and I start to wind down before bed, I begin to get into the state of theta. And then if you're getting really good quality sleep, you get into the state of delta. And gamma is extreme insight. It's like when you're proper, like gone super sane, that infinite energy is flowing straight through you and you're able to synchronize the energy to your desires and you're able to manifest, which is not a very good term that I don't like to hear, because there's a lot of misconstrued ideas on manifestation, because people think manifestation is controlling the external world, like grabbing it by the neck and saying, give me this, give me that. But that's not manifestation. Manifestation's got nothing to do with your external world. It's everything to do with changing your energy. And once you're able to change your energy, then you're synchronized to experiencing the conditions that you want to experience, right? And this, so changing your energy, how does this link to changing your energy, right? Because we said when we're up here, when we're in the gamma states, when we're proper focused, it's hard to edit our subconscious. But the lower we come down here, the more we're able to do that work. So a lot of people have been trying to work on themselves and try to do all that good stuff internally and try to feel the feeling of the desired reality, then rather than actually focusing on the external world, they think about, oh, I want a relationship. But then a very good question to ask yourself would be, what would I feel like if I had this? And then choose to feel that feeling anyways. That's changing your energy. And if you were to do that in these states, well, the beta and the gamma, without first coming down to the alpha, coming down to the calm state, it's like trying to catch a train that's going too fast, right? This was a beautiful analogy that was first put in the book Parallel Universes of Self. Then Neuro Knowledge made it a bit more mainstream, but this analogy goes as follows. It's a very good way of conceptualizing this idea so it sticks into your mind, and then we see how this relates to being able to change your energy. I'll give you a few more tips on being able to actually embody this and use it in your day-to-day life so you can start embodying your true nature as infinite spirit rather than dwelling in these humanly states, these perspectives that most people hold that's not benefiting you. If you're following the paradigm of the majority, I'm sorry. It's good to think for ourselves. It's good to have beliefs that don't correspond with the 99%, because otherwise your life will also correspond with the 99%. So now we'll put two different states, right? So we'll put the gamma. Let me try this too. Gamma and delta. Pardon me. And when we're talking about this is the most extreme. So the train tracks of this is on a madness. And then the closer you get to this, the more manageable it is to be able to get onto the wave. Right, that's how you got to conceptualize it. So if you're wanting to edit your mind, edit your energy, edit the patterns that you feel, your everyday attitude, if you want to change these internal beliefs, all of these different things that you must be able to change to be able to get a better life, you must comprehend that doing it when the train is moving on a madness, how are you going to hop on? Because this train is moving on a madness. You can't hop onto the train of the mind. But if you were to move and try to move onto the train whilst you're here, it's a lot easier. It's a lot more feasible. It's a lot more applicable. So save that work for the morning, for the night time. If you want to do, because another important thing that you must note is that your body does not know the difference between an imagined experience and a real experience. So if you were to put yourself in a hypothetical situation, right? Let's say someone put you in one of them hypobonic chambers, one of them that Joe Rogan has, where you're just floating on water, it's completely pitch black, and you're in one of those, and you vividly imagine a situation where you're playing football, right? You're playing professional football. You go out into the pitch and you feel the feeling. You see the crowd roaring, and you're a bit nervous. You're feeling the emotions of what it is to be there, and you're actually vividly imagining this. Now, your body will not know the difference between that and you actually being a professional football player, going out there onto the pitch and feeling it for real. If you were really good with it, if you managed to get yourself to really engage with this imagined experience, that's when it would be mimicking a similar emotional charge. And this is important to know because let's say you have been lacking a particular feeling. You felt like you have not received as much love from certain people. Now, you don't have to give that power to the external world. You now have the power to diagnose what feeling you're lacking and to give it to yourself in a state closer to the delta rather than the gamma. Okay? So, quick concept for today, not going on a madness. I just want you to comprehend this, and now we're going into applicable steps. Applicable steps, baby. How can we put this in motion to be able to live a good life? And I have touched up on it, but I'll make it crystal clear for you guys. Make it nice and crystal, so there's no confusion, and you can digest this idea like it's your own. So, all your job is to be able to use this information applicably is for you to be able to diagnose your desired reality. So know exactly what you want, or what you're lacking in other words. Because your desires and what you lack, they're synonyms, right? So everything that you want, the only reason you're able to want something is because you don't have it. The sooner you move away from desire to fulfillment, the sooner and the more closer you are putting yourself to the attainment of that. So the desire is like putting out a frequency metaphysically of I do not have this. So if you're constantly wanting something and really wanting something, or I really want something, I really want something, you're constantly communicating to the world that you do not have this. Energetically, you're communicating to the world that you do not have this. So if you were to make the choice of diagnosing what it is you want and then finding the corresponding feeling, so the feeling that you would feel if you had your desired reality, and began to use these teachings, so the first and last portions of the day should be the times when you use these teachings. So when you wake up, you can start it off by trying to start off the day on a good feeling, giving yourself a few minutes to actually get up, and you can vividly imagine a certain thing, or you can meditate a little bit and try to get your emotions to feel a little bit better, so you can start attracting more of that rather than the negativity that most likely is controlling your life. Because unfortunately, like the life that we're in right now, the majority of people intuitively know what's the right thing. They intuitively know what the wrong thing is. Yet, they do the wrong thing. So it's ignorance. It's not the lack of knowing what the right way is. Like, most people are a lot more smarter than than they give themselves credit for. Like, you're able to see what's holding you back. You're able to see what's limiting you, especially when using this information that we've just learned. Because if you really wanted to get clear about that, you would get really calm, and you would stay in these calm states, and you try to empty your mind so that, like, you're not forcing your mind to like be in these higher states. Because every time you try to think and you try to, like, you're thinking about something, that's when your brain is going more into the beta waves, and that's when you cannot find out what your actual pattern is. But if you want to know what you're working with, you have to be calm, and you have to like do that introspection when you're in a state of malleability. Because beta, that's like when the gates are closed, that's when your conscious mind is filtering everything that's coming in and out. But the calmer you go, the less of a filter you have. So it's not bad being in these high brainwaves. It's actually essential, it's actually crucial. It just needs to be placed in the right area. These high brainwaves are for action and for getting things done. And these low brainwaves are for introspection, editing, changing your energy, solving like long-term problems, like thinking about things long-term. It's good to be in these calm states. So if there's any questions that you guys want to know in regards to this topic specifically, please let me know. And I know I didn't go too much into detail of how to change your energy. This is mainly giving you the time periods of when to do it and how to get your brain into a state where you can do it. More detail will be coming in future videos on how to actually be a master over these brainwaves, how to be able to be like the meditators, the people who are able to manually change it within seconds, rather than playing with, like, rather than taking too long and like really manually trying to change your mind and it's really not working. To gain control over your mind, a video is coming with that soon. The next video that you could watch, if you've enjoyed today's video, is how to change your energy. The thing that links to this, right? Now I told you where to do it, when to do it, how to do it. You need to know what to do. And what to do is the next video, how to change your energy. So if you've liked this content, if you've gained any value, please share, follow, like, comment, give me your opinions of what you think this is. Like, do you think this is beneficial? Do you feel like I could have structured it in a way where you could have come out with more information? Give me feedback, please. It's been good talk, and I'll be back at it again next one. Oh my goodness. I'll be back at it again in the next video. Toothless teacher at it again. See you in the next one.